Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tavern. I am your host, GM Misfit. We have a wonderful guest here tonight. Spencer, otherwise known as GM MacLeodes, is our guest for the evening. Now, this guy, I just ran into him on Instagram and was checking his stuff out. And he seems to be the production master over here, showing off his stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
this guy is a DM, a production creator, a looks like we've got a movie in the production, maybe? I thought I saw something about that. Am I right? No?
Yeah, definitely. It's we're going to be shooting next month.
Oh wow.
It's a horror
So
film based on a water elemental, but we're not telling anybody that. We're going to leave it up to the audience to figure out what that monster is.
there you go. That's how it works. That's how D&D works,
Yeah,
right?
man.
We let the audience figure out what's actually attacking. You just describe it and they figure out what the actual monster was.
Look at the Duffy brothers. I mean, they turned it into a empire for a huge net company. You know, like it's just nuts. Like,
Oh yeah.
you got a
No, I
tech
just
company
finished.
reliant on one. You know, like, well, Ozark does pretty well too, but yeah.
Hey, I liked Ozark. I really got into that season. The last season made me a little teary. I'm not gonna lie. That finale was rough.
It was. Trying to find the link. I gotta tell everybody who's watching. Like, I really sucked in the last half hour of this. Usually I would promote the link, and I can't find it. Can you send it to me again so I can put it out there?
So
Do you have my phone number? Did you text me that, or did you email it? Oh, you
I'm
Facebooked
messing
it, right?
it through Facebook. Yeah.
Aha, that's
So that's probably why things are getting lost.
call me old school. I'm kind of a more reliant on the Gmail.
I'll throw it to you
is one.
I'll throw it to you on chat or on
Okay, cool.
on Zoom.
Ooh, Zoom chat. Even better. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no worries.
So you're explaining how we met?
Yeah, so explain how we met, and I reached out and I was like, hey, I've seen you're playing with some crazy people. Like I saw a video of you playing with Elijah Wood and a couple other people from Lord of the Rings, which was pretty epic.
One of my movies had Sean Astin in it. And
cool.
We had Winona Ryder as his kind of colleague in that. And
oh, wow.
They both went to high school together in this movie. It's called Stay Cool. It's actually, if you like the 80s, if you like what's happening with Stranger Things, this movie is right up your alley. I'm not saying it's the best movie ever made, but it's fun. I mean, Chevy Chase is in it, John Cryer, Sean Astin, Josh Holloway from Lost, if you were a Lost fan. Yeah. And so we magically put Sean and Winona in the same movie. And I think that inspired season 3 of Stranger Things. I don't want to take total credit for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you take credit for that one. That's all right. Yeah. But so this is what we do on this show is we are two people sitting at a bar and we're just going to chat because that's what happens. But the only thing that doesn't happen is normally my video just decides to just kick off for some.
There is check that out. We're in a bar.
Oh yeah, I sit behind.
You should have sent me the background. I could have made my background. Well, it kind of looks like I'm at a bar.
All right. Why is my so mind you, Zoom is getting on my nerves these last couple of weeks. I randomly just vanished from Zoom. Oh God, that's the dirty look of my actual room. All right, back to the bar we go.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to see the kids running around to make it all real. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%. But so what we do here is we sit and we talk D&D and we have beer because who doesn't like beer? So this is my beer. Actually, this beer is too light for this week, so it actually blends into the background, which is sad. But
and you know how I got beer. how I got the nickname, right? Did I tell you guys this?
No, you haven't.
I'm pasting the Twitch thing and saying, "Come on,
come hang out,
please." There you go. Please come on. Is anybody watching, or is this just us broadcasting? By the way, do you record these?
Yeah, we record these and we send them up. We throw them up on YouTube as well. So.
Oh man, you should give me a link to that because we'll gut it up and throw out some shorts and put you guys out there too on that.
Awesome.
Let me spread the word too. Yeah. This is my fancy networking. Like, how do you get so many views? It's texting. Yeah, because you can tell everybody like, hey, it's at 6 p.m. PT. Like, but it's like 3 p.m. They all forget. I mean, I forget. I'm like, oh shit, I have a show. Like, blah blah blah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. That's We get that, and I understand that, and that's why we record everything and we put it up on YouTube, and you get to see all of the ridiculousness that happens on this show, which is usually just me fumbling around with words or making our guests feel really uncomfortable at times. Which all right, so yeah.
Nice. All right. Hopefully
But
this works.
so production is a big thing for you. So my question is what? How did you get into D&D? Like, where did this come from?
Oh man. So I am a ninja at production. So almost all things production and tech. I've always loved tech. So backing up just a little bit, my career started in like the 90s, and then we'll get into D&D. So, had a film degree, didn't know what to do with it, moved to LA. I had a audio degree. I feel like we need some music. Like, there we go.
There you go.
I'm so much more confident. So moved to LA because it was the only thing after this tech certificate in audio, and I started working at a mixing place that made albums. So the what are they? The Black Crows recorded, Boys to Men were recording, and I was being like an assistant in all these rooms. And then eventually I was recording my own stuff, and so I got music on the Warner Brothers and
nice.
some of their films, and editing became a thing, for audio. And so that was a natural progression because I saw that the video guys were earning way more money than I was blowing out my ears. And I was a mixer at E, and I was a mixer at Sony. I did a live show there, live game show. I love game shows. And then started, on Avids, and pretty much mastered them. And within a year, I was working at both Sony and Warner Brothers, editing. And, in the meantime, I did voiceover direction for cartoons, which is how I know a lot of these voiceover people that appear on our show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've made a few cartoons over time, like just for, I would like to sell them, but they haven't sold. But we did make full pilots. We made 2 and a bunch of other pitches, and someday I'll get those. Maybe it's a D&D campaign. What do you think, James?
Hey, I'm down. Okay. I'm always down to build a new campaign. We can talk.
I'm keeping my eye on you guys then. And, got into streaming and been working with some of the bigger tech companies as a brand, as an agency, outside agency. And so that just forced me into learning all the tech and, sort of being a one-man person, especially with COVID. I mean, it was just genius. It just
the one-man person show kind of seemed to be the way to go. I have so you'll be shocked, and you won't be shocked because it's how I act, but I have zero like film experience, zero theater experience, none of this.
Oh man,
I'm a straight up tech guy. That's all I am. So
natural 20.
There you
Critical
go.
Role.
Yeah. Let me see what I got.
So you're a tech guy. So you have more of the, like, you understand the, like, obviously you guys are going to OBS. I mean, for us, when we were attempting to do Twitch, which I have voided because we're moving to Gen Con TV on Twitch.
Yeah.
So we'll be on Gen Con probably starting in, I want to say, September. So
nice.
You'll see us remove our identity and move over to them. I really love that crew, and we've just,
they're taking a couple
really
really good crews over there. We had Tony Sloan on from Gen Con TV here just a couple weeks ago, and his magnificent displays of stuff. It's crazy. He's good.
Yeah, we have a scheduled thing, and I think 3 weeks or something, right before Gen Con to help promote our Gen Con events.
Nice.
So anyway,
I'll be there, so that'll be exciting to figure out.
Oh, I love it. Well, we have 4 shows. We're definitely talking about that, but back to the D&D stuff. I look younger than I am, thankfully. But man, it started. If you're watching Stranger Things, that was my fucking life. Except for and I grew up in Mansfield, Ohio, by the way.
Oh wow, you grew up.
You're in Salem, right?
Yeah, I was in Salem.
Yeah, I saw that. Ohio is a unique place to grow up, by the way. It's
different.
It's special. It really has I don't know. There's an undertone. I mean, Stranger Things. Duffer Brothers they got it right. Mansfield.
It definitely made me feel like I was home when I watched that show.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great, so great. And but Mansfield has the penitentiary, and if you guys liked Shawshank Redemption, that's the state pen.
Right.
And
Oh yeah,
it's
I know.
haunted as fuck.
Yeah, I've been
it's
there.
it's it's just
It's
the most eerie
intense.
place.
It's
And
intense. Yeah.
the dude who built it was like an epic castle builder in Europe, and I forget exactly his name, but he came over and built this penitentiary. God, how much money did they blow on that, James?
Oh, I have goodness gracious. I have no idea, but it's weird though. So Ohio does have a lot of very superstitious and uniqueness about the
Oh,
state.
yeah, very
Just the
superstitious.
different. There's a lot of haunted locations. There's a lot of you know back history of
What was the
cults
worst
and
in your town? What was like? Yeah, the cults and yeah, all that shit, right? What was the
yeah.
worst haunting? Like, what was the worst ghost story in Salem?
There all these little tiny ones is kind of like what's speckled around our
Yeah.
town. It's like we have something called Crybaby Bridge. So there was the bridge out on the
Ooh.
other side of the on the other side of town that a mother drowned her child, and then the baby cries every night at this time frame. There was a
Is that based on a true story?
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, based on a true story out of the 1700s, I think is what they read. I was like, I don't know how you figure that out 1700, but still.
Could you imagine?
But yeah.
You know, you guys are at the tavern. I've been drinking water, soda water. I got to make up for this, James. So you keep talking. I have my headphones so I can hear you, and I want to hear about these other ghost stories, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay.
All right.
So what was
Yeah.
what? So the cry. What was it? Crybaby
It's
Bridge.
called Crybaby Bridge.
Shit.
We had another one where there was just a strip of roadway that all of a sudden a random set of headlights would come out from nowhere from this specific road mark to this specific road mark every night between the hours of midnight and 2 o'clock. And people have like video sightings of it and stuff like that. And I was like, this is just weird.
Dude, seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Like
creepy
the lights.
stuff.
Did you ever witness the lights coming out? Or you just
That's one I've never done. I never did that one, but I had some
I
friends
usually
of mine
drink
that
beer.
did that one. There you go.
I usually drink beer. I'd have to leave the room and pull back that curtain. Maybe we'll do that later, but I never drink vodka.
Oof.
But I have some Tito's, which
There you go. That's some old school
is
stuff
good.
here.
And we'll just, oh, wow, half and half. I don't know. It might have been strong.
Sounds like a good writing prompt.
Well,
Go
for me,
like the top 100 like hauntings in Ohio, and you can pull writing prompts from them all. It's super easy.
oh yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but let me just okay. Mansfield, Ohio was the most fucked up place to grow up at. Just period. Like, and I mean that in like, I love the music. Stop. Yeah, let's get eerie. Darn it, that's on my other system. But it was so screwed up. They said that somebody dropped acid in the water supply for a few years around when I was born, and all my friends, like, we got to Ohio State and everybody's like, oh, dude, you guys are all fucked up, like, from Mansfield. It was just this weird thing, but it really was a strange place. And so let me just tell you a couple of events that'll just change your mind about it. So there's a small documentary. Dr. Boyd, who lived down the street, literally like 4 blocks away,
Yeah, that's always good.
killed and buried his wife under the cement in his basement and tried to cover it up when his sister was calling saying, hey, where's my sister? And he's like, oh, she went on a trip, and like totally bamboozled the cops for like a few months. And then, they dug up the basement. Anyway, that poor kid was 4 years old. So he had been fostered in LA. There's a big documentary that he did, so I suggest you watch it and kind of pay for it if you can, because it helps him out. But man, the stuff that he had to do. So that was one good example. Another one was, and you can tell why I got into D&D immediately, because this kind of stuff is super eerie. It's like, what the hell? Your neighbor buried his wife in the, So there's this other place called Black's Woods, and its name's Blacks because the family that lived there, their last name was Blacks, and they owned the Gorman Rupp Pump Company and a bunch of other assets in Mansfield. Is super wealthy. Like, they had a comm to call from one side to the other, and Steve and John, John was my age, Steve was a little bit older, and they were just they were just great to know because they were inventors. They were always doing stuff. They were always up to things. But Black's Woods, which was part of their property, was so haunted. I can't even tell you. There was like a gazebo in the middle of it, just randomly, a beautiful gazebo.
Randomly.
And we would find Playboys and beer up there. Some local dude was stashing his Playboys and beers up there. So we would, as a young kid, you're like 8 or something, and you're up there. Like this is like 9. You're like, whoa, Playboy. So Black's Woods was magical. And then at the Stop and Go, did you guys have those Stop and Goes?
Yeah.
Wow, vodka. I need ice with that. But so the Stop and Go. So get this. The sheriff's wife, right? The sheriff's wife was in Stop and Go. And some guy, this is not a fun story. Some guy abducts her. They rob the Stop and Go, and they abduct her, thinking we'll just use her as, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, they end up doing terrible things to her and killing her in Black's Woods. And have you ever seen Stand By Me? Remember Stand By Me? As a group of young kids, like Super 8. Did you see Super 8 with the train wreck? This is our age group. And so we are common in the Black's Woods because we were always, we lived next to it. So we would just take our bikes and kind of dirt bike. One of us found the body.
Oh,
and
wow.
So, yeah. And so immediately as boys, dude, I found a dead person, we're like, huh? So a big group of us got together and drove into Black's Woods and saw this body. And at that time, the police had already been there and they were roping it off. I swear to you, man, it was Stranger Things, Super 8, all of that. It was just growing up in Mansfield was like such a trip. I mean, everything from painting the water towers to, we would play D&D up to the point where, girls got a little more interesting, right?
Yeah, right.
I don't know how it happened for you guys, but Stranger Things, literally the girls start to come in interest, right? And they stop playing, and it's
and so that kind of D&D.
Yeah. And then you're older and you have kids yourself, and you're like, well, I could do poker, I could go to a strip club or a bar, or I could just play D&D with my friends. And it's having a D&D obsession, especially for video games. I love video games too. Don't get me wrong, but playing
there's something
and engaging
about Dungeons and Dragons that just makes. So I have a similar story to that.
Oh shit, Ohio, here we come.
Yeah, so nothing to do with the dead people part. It's more of how I was developed into Dungeons and Dragons. So growing up, I didn't know what Dungeons and Dragons was, and I was a huge writer. I lived in Salem. There was more churches in the town than there were bars.
But didn't you have that little bookstore that had the weird dice in the back? You didn't have any of that, huh?
No. Our comics book store was a comic book store, and it did Magic the Gathering and a couple. Oh, there went my man. That's okay.
I'm talking to a ghost James. There we go.
And many times I would go in and be like, okay, this is cool. Buy random things with my grandparents would buy whatnot for me and we still have a restaurant in Salem. My dad still runs it. We've been running it for over 100 years now. So
what's the restaurant name?
Pop Jackson's.
Oh, the Jacksons. I like the last name. Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we've been there for Salem, a long time.
I'm gonna hit it up.
Right. Yeah. So long story short, though, I didn't know what Dungeons and Dragons was. I met a friend of mine through there. He goes, hey, I want you to come to Kent State with me. We're gonna go have some fun. And I was like, all right, cool. We're going to Kent State. I'm thinking, we're gonna have fun, right? I was a freshman in high school, and he was a senior, and his parents were divorced, so one of them lived in Salem, the other one lived in Kent. So he's like, come up, hang out with us this weekend. We'll drive you back. All right, cool. Show up at Kent State at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. There's a group of about 40 people dressed in all black trench coats, grunge wear. Some people have face paint, some people are dark makeup, and I'm like, what am I walking into in the middle of Kent State, finding out that they run a LARP at Kent State for Vampire the
Oh,
Masquerade. So that was
oh
the first thing
shit.
I'd ever seen
How awesome
as,
is that?
yeah. So there was about 40 people, and I was the youngest person there. So um, I
So
did
did
that
you
for
participate or were you
hell
just kind
yeah,
of
hell
watch?
yeah, I
Okay,
did.
yeah.
I was like, this is awesome.
So what
Um,
did somebody give you a sword and you just ran in, or how did that go?
so back then we used old rules. So instead of using weapons, they actually had you just used your character sheet, and then you fought by using rock paper scissors, and that's how you won back and forth. It's funny to think that you've got people between the ages of, at that time I was 15, all the way up to people who are in their 60s playing, and they're running around a state college campus in full garb like you would be as a vampire. And we never had vandalism issues, we never had cops called on us, none of that. And this was right during the
Wow.
same time frame that the Kent State shooting happened. So we thought we
Oh,
were going to be shut down immediately. Like a couple of my friends were like, this is not going to last more than a couple of months. Well, we ran it for 3.5 years after that. But what I would do on a Friday night is my buddy'd come get us. We'd drive up there. We'd stay at we'd play from 7 to 3 o'clock in the morning in Kent State, go crash on his dad's couch, wake up at 1 o'clock, and they're like, hey, D&D starts at 1. I was like, all right, I don't know what this is yet. So I hopped in. My first D&D session was 23 people. I've never
what?
seen a table that big ever
Oh
in
my
my
God.
life since
But
now.
did you even know what D&D was? You just
I
hopped in
had
this
no idea.
huge
I was
table?
just
Oh
walking
my
in.
God.
It was literally inside the student center there. They would grab 3 tables, pile them all together, surround people, and some of these guys, like I said, some of these guys are in their late 20s, early 30s, early 40s. I get guys sitting around playing D&D and building chainmail like at the same time. Like it was just weird stuff. Um, so they would play from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 7 o'clock at night, and then go the 2 rooms that we were allowed to use as students. We would go into those rooms, change out of normal garb into the vampire, and then go play vampire for another 8 hours.
God, get out.
Yeah, it was intense. So
Good.
that was my first experience with D&D, and I was like, and I've never seen anybody play it that way ever again. Like the guy we had was our game master was the old school, comes in with like 3 suitcases full of books. He was in his like early 60s maybe. He had a binders like this full of lore, and I'm just like, and then on top of it he had and you'll get a kick out of this most likely, he just had index cards that had weapons on them, and he just toss them
They
at
just hand
people
them
as
to
they
you?
were, and just hand them to you. So yeah, that was my experience, and my first big experience with D&D, and I was like, and
I
then
think that first experience is so freaking important. It leaves an impact. Like if you had a good DM when you were like
yeah,
first introduced, like makes all the difference.
mm-hmm.
20, how many people at that table?
23.
And so I've actually run a table of 21. At,
The
well,
most I've ran is 12 so far, and I still to this day don't understand how he did it, and it made sense to everybody. I was like,
you were into it though when it was going on. Like were you having
yeah,
side conversations or were you just enthralled by the storytelling?
I was
And just
enthralled by the storytelling.
interesting. Yeah.
But the guy was unique, and like when I say unique, his characters, like I said, he'd been playing since probably the beginning of D&D.
Sure. Yeah.
And he knew everybody where they were at and what was going on, and it was just like, and me personally, I think I was more like just awestruck to play because I was the youngest kid there, and everybody else was, adults at the time, and
Sure.
I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So, uh, yeah.
And
So
how
that was
old were you when this was happening? How old?
I was 15.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah, I think I started when we were like 11 or 12. I mean,
yeah.
the good thing
Now,
my
now
DM
mind you,
he
you're probably a little older 20, I think. I don't know. I'm not going to assume things.
I'm super young.
Yeah.
A vampire.
That's what people tell me. But
No,
yeah.
I'm a little older. Yeah.
But no, they that was the interesting thing. So once I figured out how Dungeons and Dragons worked, I was like, well, I'll start my own game. My first game
Oh
where
yeah.
I ran the game was atrocious.
Wait a minute. Let's talk about that. What happened?
I ran
Why do you say that?
I ran third edition Sunless Citadel out of the book. Didn't understand the rules fully yet. Got a chair thrown at me that night by one
You're
of our
serious?
players because
Somebody got that pissed at you and threw a chair?
Oh yeah, no,
Maybe that's a success.
that's what I
Yeah.
thought after a while. I was like, well, maybe I
Yeah.
did decent at it. So, um, funny enough, I was deployed a couple years ago in the desert, and that was the same module I ran while I was in the desert with a bunch of guys from the desert. So,
And was it successful then?
it was successful then. It was a lot more fun then too.
You had
I
learned all.
understood how to mix what a module is and how to utilize the module rather than just running the module through like a book. But that was years and years of throwing chairs. Crazy. It is. Hey, thanks guys for coming to hang out with us tonight.
Are there people on?
Yeah, we've got 9 viewers right now.
So. I bet while we were talking, I've been sending
text messages out.
I got to be honest, I screwed up really bad for everybody. Oh, there's Yamasin. Oh, nice. Yamasin is am I saying that right? He's in the chat room. If I'm not saying that right, you can kill me for it. That is a very powerful cleric. And Thurman. Yeah. Well, Thurman's a ridiculously maybe one of my favorite characters. We can talk about him.
Yeah.
Hey, Yamasign, while you're there, or Thurman, can you please? I forgot to promote this Twitch. Can you please just blast the groups for me? Thanks. Just send the link because it is a little difficult to kind of follow, especially we like I said, James, we don't have a Twitch necessarily presence.
Right.
We are going to be moving to Gen Con's Twitch channel. So this is not our area. I mean, basically at the end of the day, it's me promoting on you probably encountered this too, right? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Reddit. Facebook.
I've even been a little lax tonight because I didn't get a chance to promote through like the 17 Discords that I normally drop promotions in. But
oh shit, we're gonna have to change. I just started on Discord like maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I would love some tips there. So maybe we can talk about Discord.
It's all manual, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean there are bots out there that you can get and stuff like that. I just don't have the money.
Oh, hey, kids. Hey, wife. I love that. What the? Oh, is that like? Is that like? Hide your kids, hide your wife. Is that what that's from? I don't know. What do you think, James? Hey, your kids.
Hide your kids.
Oh, hide your kids, hide your wife. That's what it is from. Okay, we got it. Thanks, bud. If you can give some dirt, by the way, this character knows he's been a fill-in GM. He's been wonderful at times at McLeod Ale, and he's an incredible GM. And I usually come back and I say, "How did you do?" And he'll say, "Well, only 2 of them died." Very scary. And I was thinking, "Oh, you only killed 2 characters? Wow." I don't know.
That's good. It's at least 2. I have not had a campaign yet where I haven't at least killed 1 character.
Oh wow! So we're in the house. We're in the right house. I get screamed at all the time. Like, you don't understand, James. If I said that on my YouTube channel or something in a comment, like I get blasted. People are like,
"Oh, I'm sure people will blast me all day long." I can tell you, I do one-shots, and if you don't beat the puzzle at the end of the one-shot, the whole party dies. It's just how it works.
We need to get James out of Virginia.
One-shot.
And into LA so that we can start playing. I like this philosophy. Actually,
give me a plane ticket, man. I'll come out anytime. I love playing.
The guy that created 3, so that the one you started on. So his name's Peter Atkinson, and there were other, but he's the one that like literally saved it and founded it and stuff. So Peter says one time to me like, like he played with us. He plays with us, and we interview and we talk a lot. So that's cool. You're going to Gen Con, right, James?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, you have to hook with me because secretly Peter has great parties, and they're kind of last minute, and so I'm like, you got to just.
I'll have to find time that my 16-year-old's coming with me too. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
good for 2 of our events, not the third. And by the way, I'm going to convince you tonight that there is one event that we are doing at Gen Con that is freaking mind blowing. And if you don't go, because your D20 roll walking in the door may win you mega things. Like it's amazing.
I'm down.
And maybe I have some pictures to share, by the way.
Yeah, we do have pictures. We tossed all the pictures up on the G Drive. So our tech will throw those up if he want to show off some of those pictures. But if you got more pictures, then I can throw those up too.
Oh, that's the mystery voice. Who's the mystery voice?
Our mystery voice is our tech. Is Eric. He is our wonderful. Actually, he played a character on our stream for a few months, and then Sundays are rough for him because he works a lot, and he's been doing a lot better being behind the scenes, and he's loving it. So we appreciate everything he does for us.
Big applause for the tech guy, because it takes a lot to be that dude.
It does.
Or lady, and there's not a ton of accolades. So just from one tech guy to another, thank you. Literally. Now I just got a text in. This is from Gary. What? The PA's, that's ridiculous. $300 for a whole day. PA. I'm not renting a PA for $300. I'd rent it for $100. Anyway, this is my friend in Indiana, Gary. He's a photographer, and actually, what I want to do with him is get him introduced to, all the Gen Con people. So it proliferates for him. But yeah, I'm not renting a PA for $300. It's all I need is a powered speaker. These are small rooms. Anyway, he says, "Here's my friend Indy. She's a big D&D player. She can play in one of your Friday night games." Pretty cute. You guys seen that?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we have Amy Vorpal, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and Brooke, and but I think Indy, she might work. I like her tattoos.
Tattoos. Yep.
Yeah.
Showed it off the stream. Everybody like this.
Should we have her on? I mean, can somebody give us a vote out there? Ann Beer is here. Ann Beer is from Indiana.
She can play in one of your games on Friday. There you go.
My favorite season so far is Loaded Dice Rollers. I think season. Oh man, what happened to my phone? I think it's season 3.
Yeah.
It's Ann Beer. Are you? If you're there, what do you think?
I thought I was your friend from Indiana.
I'm trying not. Well, Gary G is a photographer. Ryan is the only D&D fan / player that I know that's in Indiana. Does that help? 3 has been really good. Oh, thanks, brother. Yeah, season 3 of Loaded Dice Rollers. If you're listening, you don't know. Wow, super close up.
I was gonna say super close up.
I was on my phone. Now I'm here. This is production shenanigans. But if you haven't checked out Loaded Dice Rollers, you really, James, I don't know if you've actually gotten into a lot of it.
I've watched an episode so far because
Which one? Was it with a guest player, or who did you catch?
Yeah.
Was it just something out of season 2, season 1?
It was one out of season 2.
Okay.
So it's
a bunch of girls. Yeah. And that was super fun because, they all played teenagers. And it was sort of the journey of an angel who was an NPC, believe it or not, in season 1. So we just scratched it and said, how did that guy grow up? Because it was such an interesting NPC. It was probably the most predominant, played by the rules god, if the rules god's out there. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about the rules god, because I'm the GM, but we have a rules god as well. And maybe this is,
you got to have those sometimes, because some people would just go crazy.
So maybe this is a good topic for a little bit later. But he played such a great NPC. I was like, dude, we have to do a small short run season on that and figure out where this guy came from and how he got here. And he was like, yeah. So we got him and 3 of his teenage friends, and they played like a Scooby-Doo, discovering life and yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awesome. I mean, that season 2 is honestly, the haunted in episode, which I think is like episode 3 or 4, is probably my favorite of all time. Like we barely rolled in that, and the girls did such an amazing job of just the tone and the music, like in the sound effects and just the creepiness. It really should be made into a film, that episode. But anyway, so that's season 2. Season 3 has a guest star every episode, and there are people like Peter Atkinson. And maybe this is something to talk about. We have Pixel Dice creators tomorrow night. If you want to check it out,
if
RPG
you've not seen
All-Stars.
Pixel, I love their dice. They're so cool.
And by the way, the creator is amazing. Like Jean is truly, like oh man, the guy's just a genius in so many areas. And he was a lead programmer on Fallout 4.
Oh, nice.
One of my favorites. And my first favorite ever made, of course, I haven't played Elden Ring yet, Skyrim. He was a lead programmer on Skyrim. And
did you see the new, because I like Skyrim, but I like the fact that they just came out with a new upgraded version for the co-op version. That sounds like so much fun.
Dude, I know. If I get into Skyrim, you won't see me for a couple of weeks. The rules god is here. Okay, so we were talking smack about the rules god. No, we were just talking about season 2 rules god and how epic your character was there, and how special it was just to be playing teenagers and taking that whole journey, discovering who one of the most predominant NPCs was in the first season. I mean, that one of the reasons why I love this stuff is because we can do things like this, and it just anyway. So that's probably my favorite season is 2, with the 4th episode when they're in the haunted inn. Season 3 is absolutely special in that the journey is epic, and the characters are all just genius. And the way the guest players come in and just are part of the natural chemistry. Honestly, that's partially my directing skills that I have. I've been directing reality and other forms. I hate reality TV, but whatever. So that's been part of my life. Like I was an executive producer at ITV Studios for 4 years. I've had my own series up on Discovery Network. Nice. Things like this, and I'm used to meeting clowns and just kind of dealing with them out and about. So I can get anything to mesh, which I think this is proof in the pudding. It's just so cool. Tomorrow's episode is Jean Simonet, the creator of Pixel Dice and Fallout and Skyrim and all this stuff, is ultra special. And if you're going to tune in, I asked you to watch last week's because it was with him as well, so that you really get his character. It's super awesome. Like the guy it's insane how good he is.
I'm going to have to watch that on Friday. I have a paid game tomorrow night, so I won't have time tomorrow night.
All good. The majority of views actually come in like throughout the week. So like we have a kind of a large boost at the beginning, and then it just grows.
Nice.
Which is super cool. And we record everything and I edited it down. So it's like usually an hour of time, season 1 ran longer. We would record for 5 hours. Sometimes I'd edit it down to like an hour and a half in season 1.
Anything about this world, but I look forward to hanging with you guys at Gen Con.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the world of D&D, you've got a big world to open up to, because it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you that.
We got the Mongoose. So the Mongoose is going to make an appearance at Gen Con, several appearances, and we expect him to be the Mongoose. There's no other way to describe that guy. He's an amazing player. He's an amazing GM. He runs a thing called Hazards and Hijinks, and they're their own group. I think they broadcast on Thursday nights. Get me if I'm wrong. Hazards and Hijinks. He'll let us know. And Gary G. Watson's in the house. I don't know anything about this world, but I look forward to hanging with you guys at Gen Con. Gary is our head of production. Like he's the guy when it comes to cameras and photography and stuff. And I'm still lucky. I worked with him out here. My partner on a project brought him in, and just getting to know him and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden we're like, hey, let's go to Gen Con. Because oddly enough, Peter Atkinson had said, hey, because I forget what I was emailing him about something. And he said, what about Gen Con? I said, well, we've always wanted to go. And he said, well, how about taking a few events? I'll give you the halls for free. And I was like, really? Right.
Can't really complain about that, right?
Yeah, I can't complain about that. But he's like, he wanted like Juliet Landau and some of the other stars that my wife was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Not one of the predominant cast, but she was reoccurring, and then she was in Angel, this series. She was more
Nice.
reoccurring there. Yeah, she's the only one that has 3 names in the series. If you can guess that character, if you're a Buffy addict, you will know
I'm not a
exactly what I'm
Buffy
talking
addict,
about.
so I'm not gonna make that one.
But anyway, these guys, they get paid 10 grand for appearances. Like, and
Yeah.
if you're not paying them, they will have like a $4,000 or $5,000 minimum, and then like they'll do another 5K in signings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't afford to bring Juliet out, so I
mean, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, the people. It's funny because I talk to people a lot on even shows like this, and I've had so many people come up to me like, "How did you even find people to be on your show?" And I was like, truthfully, I'm a very tenacious person, and I just ask, And I've never had, and thankfully, I love our viewers and I love our community because nobody's asked for money, nobody's requested money. We've given tips where we could, but for the most part, everybody does this out of just the love of D&D and we've appreciated it. And we also make sure that we don't put anybody's time too crazy. Like we ask for an hour, once. We've had one person on our show twice the entire time we've been running for almost years now. So we get a new guest every week, trying to keep my role.
Nice. Well, by the way, I saw you've been in the gym working out a lot. That's if you're on Facebook friends with James, you know those guys working out. And by the way, I do have to say, Hazard and Hijinks is on Monday evenings, and you can check them out. Hazards in Hijinks. They're really colorful play as opposed to like they play D&D 5, and usually when I'm tuning in, the cast is always extremely interesting. The GM is like he's like a genius with acting. He does the improv, and he's got all the voice. Like anyway, so you do want to check them out. They are very cool.
Check them out. And if they want to come hang out with us on a Tavern Talks, just hit that QR code at the end of the session.
And shit, wait a minute. The rules god, as Brett says, the mongoose knows more about death rules, and that's because he bites it all the time. Oh no, we have shit talk in the chat. What do we do? Okay. What happens if Via's still there? This is really going to turn up. And Gary or G Watson, man, thank you so much for this. He's the one that sent me this girl. Should we show her? What's her name? G Watson. The girl you just.
We're trying to find another actress. That's what he's looking for right now.
There's another female to add to the group. And supposedly she GMs and plays.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because it's one thing to have a pretty face. It's another thing to have a pretty face and understand the language of D&D.
Dedicated. Dedicated. I think I can answer. India. That's her name. Yeah. India. G Watson says. She is. I'm definitely in. So James, I hate to throw this in another direction, but we got to talk about Gen Con. Can we talk about Gen Con?
We can talk about Gen Con.
Gen Con. Can we do Gen Con?
Gen Con's big. Gen Con's big this year. I'm excited for Gen Con. My book is released at Gen Con this year, so I'm super excited about that. I'll be running games.
Wait a minute. What? You have a book? Wait. Back it up.
So the company that I work with, GUI Cube, is going to be one of the main stage adventures there this year. But during their Kickstarter, they offered me the opportunity to write one of their adventure modules, and that adventure module will be being showcased at Gen Con. It's the first time it's being showcased. So, and I wrote almost all of that book. Between me and another author, we wrote the whole book. So that was my first published adventure. I'm super excited to see what people think about it. I'll be running it personally on Thursday night.
Will you have actually printed copies? Will you have printed copies?
It'll be at the booth, yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Give me one copy, and I'll tell you why. Because we are doing a game show. We're doing the only RPG game show ever done. And if you give it to me as a prize,
we're doing a game show this year too. So
okay,
I'm not the only one.
Oh wow, there you go. So that will end up on Gen Con TV on the live channel, and then it will also end up in an edited version for us. And I'm sure Peter Atkinson's going to want it for his channel. Yeah. So we will highlight the hell out of that if you give us one. I mean, prizes already in from miniature markets. From Paizo itself, they gave us 8 prizes. They actually gave us 16 prizes.
Nice.
A group called Total Party Kill Games. I didn't even know about them. We have a show called TPK, Total Party Kill, and they were like, "Oh, this makes sense." So they sent us a bunch of shit, right? If beer or whatever is still here, and beer, he can confirm. And then we have these amazing fucking metal screens handmade by blacksmith Anna Bobby. She calls Bobby Smith on TikTok. She's Anna Booyah something. And anyway, incredible prizes. So if you want to throw something in there, I'd be more than happy to like have it as a prize. And by the way, James, you should come to that if you're free. It's on Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I'll have to
There's 2 different sessions. Okay,
I think
I'll send it to you.
Fridays I'm working, or Fridays I'm running games both morning and evening. So
okay, we got a fight going on in the chat. We have to address this. This is too much. So G. Watson stoked. Hasn't hijacked the mongoose. Would like to remind the rules god that he smoked your encyclopedia knowledge of Pathfinder while drunk. That would be a good TikTok video, wouldn't it?
Like, the encyclopedia while drunk.
Yeah. And he says, you had 1 beer that night. Lightweight. Well, yeah.
Constitution is a dumb stat. Intelligence is clearly good. Got a war going on in the chat room. It's okay.
Hazards and Hijinks is studying to be a lawyer. He's very litigious, but if anybody can hang with that, it is the rules god there. So I wish him luck with. We'll tune into your battle as it's going on. So yeah, back to Gen Con. Yeah. So what is your game show that you're doing?
So I'm not running it. The company that I work with is running it, and it's the Great Gooey Game Show.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that is going to be what that's going to be is they're going to bring out about normally. This is normally how it works. Is normally they bring out about 30 or so rooms, and they build it out of Dwarven Forge and Warlock tiles and all that stuff. And I know Peter Atkinson's going to be in it. Stefan Corney is going to be there. There's a couple other people that are going to be there. And what they'll do is they'll walk through the dungeon, and you can do certain things in each one of the rooms, and then each person, and then of course they'll be giving prizes out to the audience and that kind of fun stuff. We did one at Genghis Con this year in Colorado, and they did one at I don't know where they did one before that. The first one I actually visually was able to see was the one at Genghis Con. So, and then we did one online too, which was a lot of fun. That was during the whole, pandemic lifestyle where nothing could be done in person and kind of boring. But
we should say hi to Deanna. She is tuned in, and Yama-san's back
welcome
for the Gong Show. And if I could have a favor of you who are in the chat, please calm down the Gong. I'm asking this in the chat, but please calm down the Mongoose and the Rules God. They're battling it out over fortitude, I think. Is arm wrestling? No,
Constitution is a dumb stat. Intelligence is clearly, So
mentally
breaking. So for you specifically, you're gonna be running 4 events.
So our game show is a little different. So we have 3 rounds for 2 hours. So 3 rounds of half hour. It's all filmed. It's all edited for later production. We actually have an entire run of TPK to be released on the channel, which is Dynamite, which is where the Mongoose was actually formed. I think maybe had him before, but he I don't want to give away spoilers, but somebody won that, and it was big prizes, and it was super fun because the players immediately coming in the door. So imagine this, 150 people walking in the door, throwing down a D20, okay? And Yama-san, you might be helping us with recording this stuff, by the way, with like who's doing what. But the rolls are ranked, and everybody gets a little, like you rolled a 4. Right. You're probably not making it on stage.
Right.
Because out of 150, odds are 5% of you have rolled a 20. And correct. So those 20s, there'll be 16 participants per 2 hours. So the first time there's 2 tables of 4, and they play off. And at the end, they play off for their god, which in Pathfinder is Gorham. Gorham, okay. the god of war. And the Gorham has collected his best, like the followers, the chosen, to participate. And they show up for whatever reason, and you come and you battle for your god. Now your god is tricky in some ways. It's like it's not all about tactics of like clobber and kill or survive. Sometimes it's about like how you perform. So the rules god, who's in the chat room now, thank you, rules god, he will have a batch of cards that will dictate who wins and why. So you play it out for 28 minutes. If everybody's still alive, by the way, which would be surprising because the odds are against you surviving at all the tables. If you are alive, the whistle blows basically, and the rules guy comes out with a card, and he reveals what Gorm's wishes was. So that wish may be first death, it may be last surviving, it may be the first critical hit, or the first fumble. You smell this list, and so all of that was recorded at the table. So the one that wins might be a surprise. So that person in each table will go on to sit on the sidelines for one session. A new group of 4 and 4 come up and they play, and the final 4 winners from all 4 tables come up to compete for that final prize. And that's basically TPK right there. We love it.
Nice.
I had a good soundbite from a Satine Phoenix I was going to play, but it wasn't that tasty.
Yeah, we'll
hazards.
We'll watch that right now.
do we have? Wait a minute. Do we have a disclaimer?
A disclaimer? Yeah, we don't have a disclaimer right now. So
our disclaimer is like we recorded all this stuff way before
all that happened. Everything happened. Yeah.
And honestly, but we had a great time with Jameson and Satine, and they were a blast, and they're great role players. What can you say? And so it was a bit of a bummer to hear all that shenanigans was happening behind the scenes, and really. My main clients are very, very sensitive to this kind of thing. We are too, and it's just not cool to have a workplace. It's not. I mean, I run a small business. I pay people. I make it a priority to pay people because then they come back.
Right.
And so some of this gaslighting and stuff is. So if you haven't seen what's going on, please just shut your eyes and ignore it. Are you going to play? Did I actually feed you a clip?
I don't think you fed me a clip.
Okay, good. Well, then we avoided that whole.
No, we'll just keep moving. We'll just move past
that. We'll just keep on moving. Oh, yikes!
Nope, you're good. Nope, we're
yikes!
Good.
Holy shit! Deanna, do you know what we're talking about? Deanna, we've got a female in there. Brett, oh no.
Eyes wide shut.
I think V's out of there. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's terrible. James, the worst about this is. We record so far ahead of time, and we do a lot of post-production love for all of our shows. Obviously, we're up for best series at Gen Con.
I know. I saw that. That's awesome.
Fuck. I literally spend 2 weeks of my life editing each episode. And when I say that, it's like sucking time from everything, like cookouts and friends and all that. So really dedicate my life to it, and to have something like that happen. So the deal is Jameson is our guest star with Satine on one episode, and then Jameson on his own coming up in like 3 or 4 weeks. But you have to understand, a season that's been recorded, I can't do anything.
Recorded
it's a fucking story.
Months ago. Yeah.
Like what am I gonna? So I took it to Reddit. What do you think they said?
Or they told you to not post it.
I mean, there's such a bunch of assholes on Reddit.
Reddit's brutal.
If
you're going to Reddit, Reddit is a bunch of trolls, which is okay.
But I wanted to hear it. I wanted to hear it. And it was about 60%. Hey, throw a disclaimer up. 10%. Well, it might have been more. It might have been more like 70%. 10% were like, re-edit the show and edit him out. And somebody was like, disguise his voice and blur him out. I was like, who the fuck has time for that shit, man? Like that would cost, if a network, by the way, I worked on a show where Aaron Spelling, when he was still alive, had Tori, there was a Tori Spelling ripoff in our show. It was called Gross Point is what it was called. And it was all about behind the scenes. And there was a Tori Spelling lookalike in our show. And Aaron called the network up and said, you changed that girl so she is not like my daughter. right? This is after the whole series had been
goodness.
filmed, the whole first season. And we were like, what the fuck? So we got him
How the hell are we going to do this?
So we got him to agree to changing her hair color to red. And that placated him. But changing her hair color in every scene was a fucking expensive nightmare. Anyway,
goodness,
we don't.
I can imagine.
I don't have. Oh, Deanna says I came partway through, missed the lead. Oh, the lead up is. What you want to explain it, James? James, you can explain the lead up.
The lead up to Gen Con? Oh
no, the lead up to why we were talking about Jameson and Satine.
Yeah. Oh, we were just talking because we were talking about Gen Con, and then you've got stuff that is set up, and there's some things that have happened in the D&D community that if you haven't seen it yet, it's all over the networks or any sort of social media. And yeah, I'm going to keep that off of my show as much as possible because
I'm sorry, it came in your show for me. But the thing is, like Stefan Dornforge and like all these guys play with, like everybody's play with her. So and him and so I was super stoked, and like I said, they were awesome on our show. And I didn't detect anything. I have to tell you though, Rules God, maybe you're here. I looked up Satine a little more adventuresome online today. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just Satine Phoenix. It was like put in another word after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The P word.
Yeah. No, that's where she comes from. Yeah. That's her.
I had no idea. Yeah. So this is a shocker. So this afternoon I have to call up the Rules God and explain what the fuck has gone down. I don't have time to screen everybody that comes through and do a background check. But I cannot believe it. So you knew that. This is common knowledge?
Yeah.
Wow. So she just comes from this adult.
She's got a really sad story that things happened before all the D&D stuff came up. But yeah, no, I mean, everybody has their history, and we all come from weird backgrounds, some of us, especially, like I said, I don't come from a single bit of theater background, and I run 2 shows. Why? Because I like to do it, and it's a lot of fun. That's really the only reason I do it. And I like to bring guests on and ask them random questions about D&D because I'm always curious of how to enhance my game, how to improve and make my game better. So are you actually, because I'm curious now, because now that we've talked with a lot of post-production, blah, 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 all that stuff. So when they're playing, though, they're playing D&D the same way we would play it at a table, correct? Or are they playing different?
Oh, sure. Oh, hell no. We don't know what the hell's going on. And it's, the thing is, James, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I would love to run the adventure. Like, I would love to run adventures that are already pre-written. The APs are brilliant. It's hard to outthink them. I mean, we talked to people like Ron London and, some of the main contributors like, Mark Moreland, like all these guys who, even No Direction and Ryan Costello and just everybody, right, who contributes to these APs. Eric Mona, Jim Butler, and part of the thing is with that is I found that I have some players amidst that will read the AP and therefore have an edge up on the other players.
That's why you change up the AP a little bit.
Well, so that gently began to happen. Yeah, I think that, and actually, this is good advice for DMs, right? If you're out there, you're thinking, hey, I want to DM something. If you are running an AP, they are terrific guides. Yeah. But
so surprisingly enough, both of my paid games are AP right now.
Yeah, and for the most
part, people love them. Like I said, I'm running a Tomb of Annihilation game right now, which is completely evil characters, which was a bit of a change up on that series, but it was a lot of fun. And then
you would love that.
Yeah, evil and then I've got another group that's running through Horde of the Dragon Queen. So,
dude, I want to be in that group.
The Horde of the Dragon Queen
slot? Group? Hell yeah, that's an awesome AP. Yeah, I've always wanted to.
Believe I would have an open slot here once we. So right now we are doing a sidebar right now. So we've went through up to chapter 4 of Horde of the Dragon Queen. They're about to get to Waterdeep, and so we swapped over for a little bit because we had a couple players who couldn't play for a while. So we went together and we're running through Gooey Cube's Red Star Rising campaign now, which is a lot of fun. And I've been deep within the world of Xyothe, which is where Gooey Cube comes from, is the world that they run in, and it's so I know a lot about that because that's where I wrote all my stuff. So, but yeah, the first module was a lot of fun, and it brings you back to the car. It really gives you that same feel that you get when you're playing Beyond the Witchlight and the Carnival. Those kind of fun, even a very similar feel to like Curse of Strahd, like the earlier portions of Curse of Strahd.
Love that. So good.
And we're just having a good time. We're playing through that. We're playing through chapter
well, honestly, I'm interested. What nights do you guys play that? When do you play that?
So I play that one. So my Tuesday night game is my Tomb of Annihilation Evil campaign.
Okay.
And then my Thursday night game is my my Red Star Rising / Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. But right now, I think I'm full at the moment.
Anyone listening want to jump in with me on one of those? I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, and I also do paid one shots for people and stuff like that as well. So, but yeah,
that's so cool. And where do you hope your just for my interest, where do you hope your writing career goes in this?
That's really the Witch's Wrath, which is the module I just wrote, was kind of off of the whim. I got offered the opportunity, and I like to write, but I never thought that writing a module was something that I would even take into consideration. It's a lot more work than I had expected to do it as an AP.
That's what everybody says. Yeah.
Compared to just writing for myself, for my players, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've done full homebrew campaigns. I ran only homebrew for about 3 years, and then I was like, you know what? As I started moving, COVID was kind of the first start. I met with Devin from StartPlaying.Games. He was the first person to introduce me to professional game masters as a business, and I was like, well, funny story with him is I was part of their beta launch during StartPlaying.Games. I had put up 3 different huge bumps up there to decide on having games being played. I got 0 hits. I sat down with Devin for about 2.5 hours and talked to him and said, hey, what am I doing wrong? He says, your pitch is good. Everything sounds great. We just don't have a lot of players yet. And people just aren't seeing your stuff compared to the others out there. I said, okay. So I got furious. I threw it up on Facebook, and in 2 weeks I had 3 games filled. Threw it up on Facebook, had 3 games filled. Both of these games have been playing over. One of my Tomb of Annihilation game is almost 2 years now, and my Horde of the Dragon Queen we're just hitting the year mark. So, yeah, my games are long. They're fun. They're intricate. Normally, they're put into. I run them off of Foundry, so everybody has online access.
Oh shit!
And yeah,
we can twitch again about Foundry. I was talking with Ron London and John Goddick about Roll D20, and really Foundry keeps coming back. As quite not as easy, but maybe more expressive for your players.
So the best way I can describe Foundry, especially if you're a tech person, is it is the Linux to Windows. There's so much stuff that the community has built for Foundry that you can do that is now, in my personal opinion, it's overtaken what
we were in cahoots with Astral Tabletop.
I liked Astral. I've talked to them a couple times.
We really love Astral. We're bummed that it kind of halted in development. The only thing about Astral is, but this is also complained about Foundry, is that it chews your RAM on your browser.
A little rough. It's a little rough on the browser. Yeah, I would agree there.
But we're used to it. I mean, my M1 computer, it's just, it'll take it, whatever. But that's not much of a complaint these days.
Yeah. So, and then of course you've got some crazier tools out there. And we've had some guests on here that are the gurus of maps. I'm telling you, we had Demon Gun, who is He's a Tailspire developer out there. If you've ever seen Tailspire, that product is incredible. I don't have the time and energy and to do that.
Seen it, and I'm not well versed at it. So I've gotten the ads, or I've gotten exposed.
It's Dwarven Forge 3D and on a computer. I mean, truthfully, and it can get to that point. I've talked to a guy named Brother Hannon who did a lot of the Tailspire work for Dimension 20 and a couple of the other big shows out there, and he's an incredible artist.
Mongoose says it's nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Love Tailspire. Okay, I'll have to check it out. I think that's a 3-dimensional. It kind of looks like Dwarven Forge.
Yeah, it's Dwarven Forge. It's just like a computer. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it sponsored by them, or do they pay for it? Or somebody just made it.
It's completely separate. They just it's very similar looking to like Minecraft, that kind of stuff, but they put a lot more energy and effort. Now I do know Mearscape has another one out there as well that Joe Manganiello was working with, trying to get that all running for that's like AR based, and you can run with your normal tabletop.
You're just waiting for my Joe story, aren't you?
I didn't even know you had a Joe story, because if that was the case,
well, let's keep going with these virtuals. We'll get to it.
But it's just there's so many different products out there.
But wait, how are they doing that in 3D and not consuming like 3 of your computers? I just don't even know, because like these other systems, they seem to really tax. Like the fans come on, it's like fucked up. You're sitting there and it's like,
I mean,
oh man,
Tailspire is taxing on a computer, like seriously taxing on a computer. But they also, Tailspire is different because each person has to buy their own account to run on Tailspire. Where like Foundry or Roll20, all you need is
it worth it? Is it worth it?
If you've got the time and energy, yeah.
How about we let the viewers answer? Is it worth? I don't know, man. We're just playing a game. Yeah, we're just
if you're just playing D&D with your friends, I personally, it's really up to you, because right now with the Tailweaver coming out soon, where you can start implementing STLs into Tailspire, it's going to make the game even bigger. So, but yes, it's worth it. Shadow Lantern says, one of our normal,
really?
One of our community.
Does the community, is somebody in the community like using it? Are you using it, or is it just like a nice to have, or like I want to know somebody that has experience like hacking in there and like kind of doing stuff. Is this?
You can actually go, if you go into one of our Twitch on YouTube, and I did like 2 or 3 episodes of it on a Friday afternoon. It was during COVID. I had nothing else going on. My work was free, and I was like, I'm gonna throw Twitch up, and I'm just gonna play on Tailspire. And I built like a room. Like I felt dumb. I built like a room. It took me an hour and a half to do it. But I think once you got the rhythm down and you really learned all the tools, it's no different than building a map out of Incarnate or those other tool building programs.
Yeah, Hazards points out, Hazards IJ says, H&H is all about the theater of mind.
Yeah.
You know what? So I have a heavy network television, broadcast television background, and in marketing. And so we used to do these focus groups, and it's probably new to some of the viewers, but probably makes sense to others. So about 50% of the time, the reason why trailers have words and then a voiceover person saying those words, right, is because 50% of the time somebody reads it. The other 50% of the time, they're an auditory listener. So that's why you do both, is so that one or the other gets it. Some people get both. If you're that special person, then you win one of your prizes on a game show. Your latest your PDF. They could be in digital format. I don't know, but it's super interesting to think about that, because I find that D&D players have a special. We probably all have something in common, by the way, in the brain that allows that theater of mind to sort of open up. And as much as I love the realism, because you've seen some of my sets, literally, they are sets from movies, and like fucking 5 layers, like it's crazy. I put people on clouds and you use blower. I have fog. It's crazy.
Yeah, it kind of makes me jealous. I want to play in one of those games, just because I've never done it like to that intense.
When you're out, like Definitely. If you're ever in LA, you have to come visit. We plan on with Hazards and Hijinks. We plan on Indiana and everybody. We plan on doing a bit of a tour, kind of like what Glass Cannon does. However, I can't figure out how Glass Cannon does it. I gotta figure that one out. Paizo doesn't sponsor us; they just appreciate us a lot,
Right.
and give me a lot of like freebies. And by the way, I am producing. This is the first. You're hearing it. This is a first. Are you ready for this, James?
Ooh,
This is a
yeah.
broadcast news worthy statement I'm about to make. Are you ready for it? It's happening on your show. I'm excited.
I'm waiting on it.
Right.
I'm waiting on it.
I'm building this is suspense. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So I have the rights to develop Starfinder, the television series, and Pathfinder. So what I'm going to do with those is going to be brilliant because it's going to be raw. It's going to be not what you expect. It's going to be a story about their character and all this stuff. So it's just going to be great. So once that kind of happens, I think for us, I think we become the dominant player in the area because nobody really knows about us. I mean, it's like you got how many people are watching Critical Role? 15 million. It's like crazy, right?
It's ridiculous. 65,000 per show per recording. Like,
yeah.
And then
I used to be a voice.
They replay four of them.
I was a voiceover director at Warner Brothers for about a year and a half before the editing kind of took over, and an audio room producer. And so voiceover talent would come in and like we'd read and get them out. And so people like Sam were in my space all day. I never had Mercer. I think he came online a little bit later, but certainly all their friends. Like, oh, by the way, with we have a Star Wars campaign. Oh, Hazards Hijinks going to get on this. We have an epic Star Wars. We did Edge of the Empire, and the whole season is fucking brilliant. When I say that, like you should lose your mind. It's so good. It's like a fan-made film, really. And there's so much love in it. The production value is so much higher than anything we've ever done. And just the story and everything. My point to that being that we brought in like Carlos Alazraqui, who's like, I mean, he is a main voiceover guy. He does everything. He's been leads in like Nickelodeon shows. He was in Pixar movies as one of the leads. He was, he was in Reno 911. If you remember that show, he was one of the. He was Officer Garcia. Like he's one of the main improvers on one of the main best improver shows ever.
Right,
the guy's phenomenal. Like I'm telling you, that season is mind blowing. Oh, here we go. Our crown jewel. Yeah, there you go. Somebody is studying to be a lawyer, so he's very litigious about his statements. Anyway,
Rocko's Modern Life, barely. Oh, yeah, man,
dude. Oh, dude, the guy's epic. The guy, yeah, he's fucking epic. So anyway, Carlos is talking with us about doing being the headliner in a series. So all of these things combined, I think the problem that we have as Loaded Dice Rollers are we made an umbrella brand because we have Loaded Dice Rollers, we have TPK, Total Party Kill, and then we have Not Another New Hope, and we have a new Starfinder series that might be coming out. I don't know. We're keeping it kind of private right now because it's between me and the producers right now. It's kind of like Game of Thrones guys play D&D, right? Wicked. But we're in it, right? Like, and we're not sure we want the vibe disturbed by cameras. So maybe that series comes out, maybe it doesn't. But that's what we have. So we had to make a mother brand, and we decided RPG All Stars is a great keyword. Like people search for RPG like a lot. Yeah. And then why not All Stars? But the problem that we encountered was Mario Kart as RPG. All Stars, yeah. Fucking All Stars. So that's our main competitor is Mario Kart. Thank God they don't have something new coming out. That's funny. So anyway, if you find us doing shenanigans, it's under that banner, and that's the reason why. But we love all of our series so much, and I look forward to this. I can only pay attention to one thing launching a week. So Loaded Dice Rollers Season 3 will probably finish up in the next 2 months. I'm giving it away. The conclusion is under 30 episodes. And then we'll start up with either TPK, Total Park Kill, which is a blast. Actually, the Mongoose, we should figure this one out. Yeah, he says Rocko's Modern Life, Reno, Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, that's right. Or launch Star Wars, because obviously Star Wars is my favorite, and we had some TikTok influencers. James, you're going to love these guys. They mimic anything. I mean, basically, we have somebody who's absolutely genius playing Christopher Walken as a droid, and when I say that, like the droid personality as Christopher Walken is incredible.
That's awesome.
And then we have he's a hired gun, but he's Robert De Niro, and I mean, God damn, when he does the looks, like he's just he says to me after one session, he goes, dude, this is really tough for me because I have that Robert De Niro look the whole time. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's fucking great, but he's like, but it hurts my face, and I'm like, I'm sorry about that. Keep doing it. Like it's so good. Anyway,
yeah,
I can't wait for that series. So
well,
anyway,
we're super excited to see what's going to come out of your guys' channel. And
well, I'd love to get you on as like a guest star,
watching.
by the way.
I would be honored. Like
it's super easy to incorporate somebody. I mean, last episode we had Madison. I'm spacing on her last name. She's quite a cosplayer, actually. She's kind of an influencer. And then just one of our number one fans, CJ Stark. CJ on this chat. CJ, he likes to hide out and not say anything. But anyway, so Hazard says TPK, then Not Another New Hope. Okay, but that's like fucking 6 months away. You realize that, right, Hazards? I mean, if somebody can help me launch stuff, I could do it sooner. Just saying. Let's see what he says. But CJ is like one of our number one fans, and I recorded them playing these. You have to. Jean Simonet is the creator of Pixel Dice and all that, right? He was our guest star. This is last week's episode. Yeah. You have to check out RPG All Stars. He does a brilliant job playing this gnome, and he's sort of he'll take advantage of it. He's a little sleight of hand type of guy, but when he's thrown in, like he just kind of gets taken advantage of. It's so fucking good.
That's awesome.
So, and then CJ and Madison show up in Crystal Ball episodes, in parts of this episode where the crystal ball is invoking like an answer. And I didn't know what the answer would be, right? Like I didn't know what they'd have to do. So we had these pre-written, and I would just play them like on cue. It just fucking worked out so well. It's like as a DM, when your session goes so well, how do you feel? I mean, how do you?
But also, that's the choice moment when you're like, oh, this went just the way I planned it. Yeah. So it's crazy because we're going to launch our newest project. So what we did first we've only been running the stream for about 2 years, not even 2 years yet. And we did a fully homebrew version inside the world, the GUI Cube rights of Xayathe, and we ran it opposite of all of their modules completely. And we had a good time with it. And then we took a step back. We still run Tavern Talks every week to talk to new guests, but we're also getting ready to launch our newest project, which starts this Sunday.
What is it?
It's called Plots in Darkenhaven. And what it is it is a group of players who all have pieces of the puzzle. And then our guest only has the first part. So now
is this a verbal thing, or is it physical online, or is it a verbal puzzle?
It's a verbal puzzle.
Oh, interesting.
So at the end of the show, what we'll do is we'll show the intro one more time before it actually launches on Sunday, which I'm super excited about. And the idea is, and the crazy thing, we went over and beyond on this one. So we have 3 potential gems. We have 16 actors. Everybody's gotten custom artwork done for all the characters. I'll be playing a Sarth, which is a non-magical utilizing race in the world of Xayathe, and he's going to be playing.
Is that something you created, or is that actually
this is what GUI Cube's running? So GUI Cube. Yeah. So they're a third party.
How did
D&D?
Just curious, how did you meet GUI Cube? I mean, how did you guys collaborate?
Oh, so that's an interesting story. I was just started my professional GMing. They were doing a GUICon online convention because COVID. And I said, well, I don't have time to play in any of these. I said, but if you send me the module, I'll run it with my group. And then we'll record it and we'll send it back to you with our review and whatnot. So I ran the module, which was only a 4-hour module. It took us 6 because I like to embellish. And we got the module back. I jumped into the Discord, talked to the owner of the company, and he was like, loved your review, loved how you ran your game. Let's sit down and chat. I started writing little, almost like fan fiction in their channel, and they sent me some, and then I purchased one of their books just to try it out to see if I liked it. And fan fiction became adding to one of the books that they wrote, and then that spun up to, hey, we're going to be at Gen Con this year, which last year was the first year I'd ever been to Gen Con. And
so you went masked up last year.
Yep, I went masked up last year, and I ran 8 games at Gen Con for GUI Cube last year.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah,
are they based in Virginia, or where are they based?
They're based out of Colorado.
Oh, okay. So a bunch of
Colorado Springs.
Mile High guys. Mile High.
So yeah.
Keep up the good work.
14
I'm not saying it's bad.
Feet.
It's legal in California. So I'm just saying, we get it. If anybody gets it's your neighboring state, California. Yeah.
So, but no, we had
They're all dry. Fun. They're like, we don't smoke at all.
Virginia is weird, but I'm also military, so I can't do any of that anyways. So
we've had a lot of friends based in Virginia. Actually, we just have a good friend. He's coming back to San Diego. They were in Navy, Virginia based a long time.
So we're looking forward to, like I said, I'm looking forward to coming back to Gen Con this year. First year I just went.
Well, dude, we're definitely going to hook up. Definitely
got excited about that. And then all of a sudden this year I'm coming back not only as GM, but as a published writer. And
our stream went to an ad.
Our stream went to, of course it did. Yeah, you got to actually subscribe to get rid of those ads.
Oh, son of a bitch.
There's
if you guys subscribe,
or that Bezos dollar, if you have Amazon Prime, you can give that free Amazon Prime to us to help us out and keep the lights on.
What does that do? Let's talk about that. What is the Amazon Prime? Because we're all part of Amazon Prime. How does that work?
Yeah, so if you're on Amazon Prime and you're not, you have a free subscription to give to a Twitch YouTuber or a Twitch Twitch channel. Yeah,
that's awesome. Right on.
If you're not using,
I didn't know that. And I have a free one to give away
to hand out to people. Yeah, so you get one a month.
Look at that, Jeff Bezos giving back to you in a very small way.
In a very small way, just to take back.
Amazon is the most amazing service I think that's ever hit humanity. I'm just going to say it. They are, not that I appreciate big business. Like I'm the small business guy. Like I will not go to chain restaurants or a
I won't go to
store
chain
that will.
Anyways, most of the chain restaurants are trash compared to the mom and pops.
Well, but I'm just that type of guy. Very few people are. But I gotta say, man, it's just hard to beat Amazon. They just have the best stupid service, and I hate them for it. But I don't know how they do it. Like, for example, I'm trying to ship a light show to Gen Con from LA to Gen Con, and Ryan, he was in our chat earlier, is getting a lot of the stuff. He's receiving it at his house, and he's going to drive it up because he lives in Indiana. So is Gary G. He got mad at me for saying there's somebody else, or somebody did. Anyway, it's cheaper for me to have Amazon ship it to them than it is for me to fly it there, or like me ship it from here. It's just crazy.
Right? Yeah, it's nuts.
And here's the kicker: you might see me doing this. If Amazon's watching, I'm sure that they are. I'm sure that they're watching right now on this channel. I'm sure they're watching. I may just buy it and return it after the event. You blame me for it?
No, I don't. I've done that. Been there, done that.
Oh shit! Everybody does it. How do they do it?
Like I had to do it. I had to do it out of a Target in Florida, but that was a different reason. I took all my kids to Disneyland or Disney World, and we had 2 of ours that decided they wanted to just fight, and the only thing they had were side by side strollers at Disney World.
No.
And I needed a front and back so that the kids couldn't fight each other as easily. So yeah, we went to the local Target, swiped it for 4 days, and then returned it that Sunday before I left. So.
Wow. We have a couple new players here. These are probably your friends.
Yeah, these are part of our crew, our community. But we're talking about Gen Con and.
Okay, so at Gen Con, you were sharing something right earlier. Did you share a screen? That was your production guy.
Did we share a screen? Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. So we were sharing earlier, Dudes and Dragons. Let me tell you, James, man, we have sold so few tickets. I actually reduced the price, which is probably a mistake, but I did it before a lot of action took place. So it was like on that weekend that events were announced, I had noticed that our sales were hurting on that event.
Right.
But this is our juggernaut event. This is the one that Peter Atkinson was like, bring Juliet Landau. And then it was James Marsters from Buffy. And then it was, like all this conversation. I was like,
right.
I can't make them appear. They have appearance fees. They have an agent and a fucking manager. Like, it's not me.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. So, anyway, I talked and I love these guys. If you have not seen the movie, Dudes and Dragons, it's available on YouTube for free. Basically, you got to watch commercials. That's how they get paid on it. But it's also on Amazon Prime. They made this movie for $500,000. And I'm telling you, the first time I watched it, I was like, this is funny and it has heart. And that's more than I can say a lot about these other knockoff, like making fun at the D&D arena type movies, including the D&D original movie. It's better than that. So let's give them props. And so I called him up and I said, hey, can we role play? Literally, you want to make a sequel to the movie? They're like, fuck yeah, we do. And I was like, look, I may help you raise money for that. If you guys are listening, you don't know, and Hazards Hijinks is back on there. We sell out. Oh no, there's shit going on in the chat. But I might help make the sequel. So I said, let's do this for the fans. Let's roll the sequel live at Gen Con on their big stage. So this is like 1,000-seat theater, right? And they give us a theater for free. So you got to understand that. First of all, James, everybody gets charged for the theaters, right? You want the theater, you've got to pay, man. There's production guys, there's space, there's all that shit, right? I mean, so Peter, there it is. Oh, good. Thank you for throwing it up. Yeah. So Peter said, oh, okay. We get you the theater for free. I was like, okay. And then got Dudes and Dragons, the whole cast to play their sequel. They are literally committed to writing the movie as we roll. Now, there's an updated version of this thing because you guys may know Amy Vorpal. Mm-hmm. She's on everything.
She's on.
Has joined the cast. She has joined the cast. So she's not going to GM, but she joined the cast, and she's going to be playing. And then Hazards and Hijinks, who's in the stream right now. They're a local LA improv group, kind of like Spin City or do you know you guys have a local improv group? No, nobody.
If we do, I don't know of them yet. I need to learn. Okay, I need to learn who they are.
They're widespread, like the Olympic or improv. The improv. No, is that anyway? There's several out here, and so anyway. These guys have a great group here.
Thing, sadly, like I wish I could get East Coast stuff like that here.
But. Dude, improv is the best. It's the best. I love filming it. I love making stories out of it. I always have.
I've never done it. I think I'd have a blast doing it, but I've never done it myself.
Dude, join. I guarantee you've got local improv groups that you could just join and like develop your. If you're constantly in the mind thinking of it, which Hazard Hijinks is going to yell at me for this. Oh, the Groundlings. Yeah. The Groundlings, Spin City. The IO, Improv Olympic. My friend James used to run the Improv Olympic, but one of the anyway, he got called out by somebody and is no longer there. We love James, and there was never anyway. And I seem to be around all these scandals, James. You've got to get in there.
I think, but
I mean,
there's a lot going on over there.
Hazards and Hijinks. I miss Meltdown. Meltdown Comics. Fuck yeah, man. I miss Meltdown. Oh my God, we can talk about that at some other. But basically, Hazards and Hijinks runs a genius improv group, and what that does for your RPG and your DM skills is phenomenal. If you're listening and you're a player and GM, you're wondering like, how do I escalate? How do I be assertive, even like self-expressed? Sometimes we hold back on what we want to really do or say. Like, oh my God, improv will unlock all that for you. Where's Hazards? I do miss Meltdown. I missed the Meltdown. Meltdown Comics was but I don't know who that is, but Meltdown Comics is a Hollywood just it was a staple for me. We used to play there for special occasions because it costs money. I actually bought my Tiamat from there. It was $75. I way overpaid. But Meltdown is that Hollywood. It's like the Whiskey a Go Go for music. Meltdown Comics is that for RPG. The Nerdist used to shoot out of there. Actually, when they shot Vin Diesel and Mercer and all those guys, that was in their back room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, fucking Meltdown. You got to check it out. And the asshole landlord raised the rent so much, they were just like, fuck it, we're just giving up. They just packed up, and it's such a shame. Had the best shows. Yeah, the Improv. The Improv had great shows. It's the secret and the sauce to jamming. Yeah, I mean, look, Hazard and Hijinks, you're probably right about. He's probably telling me that I need to do a little more improv. I would agree. You trained at the Nerdist.
I think there's that wonderful development between improv and prep. You know, you prep the big things that you have to make sure make sense and that things are connected, and then you let the improv flow the rest of it. And that's, I mean, really, that's how most of my games are, anyways. I've just never been professionally trained. So.
He says in the chat, I trained at the Nerdist, Rudy School at Meltdown. Fuck, man, you were there all the time then. Like, that's crazy, cool. Dude. We used to play on Sundays. I forget the dude that was in charge, Justin or something like that. Anyway, yeah, I miss ad lib to infinity. Yes. I like it. Anyway, we don't have to talk about improv, but literally, if you want to learn how to improve your game and stuff, not your roles, you can still roll shit.
You're still rolling shit, right?
Improv won't do anything for your advantage or your disadvantage. So, by the way, you guys play D&D mainly, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So E5, right?
E5, yep.
Were you ever a 3.5 player?
I was.
And
you know, it was $150.
And how did you leave? Did you ever play 4 or next?
So I never played 4 because it was a short period of time where I had actually just stopped playing because I didn't have time to play.
Yeah, we all have that. So, yeah. Well, hey, by the way, kudos to you. That was the best period to miss. 4 was just garbage. And D&D next was just like,
That's the problem. Like I find a lot of things that I utilized that I liked about that I like used as more so homebrew rules aren't homebrew rules. They're just what I've heard from people that were playing before that used 4's skills, like skill checks, but the group skill checks. It's a 4E thing, and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting to know that. So things like that, and I was like, oh, so I learned a couple of things about 4th. A lot of 4th I didn't like, but.
So I also have to mention before, and I was going to start to wrap up. We have some great things going on in the chat. Really, 4 you had a few great. Oh yeah. It's kind of like Pathfinder 2E, and I hate to be saying that because I really Paizo staff. I love you guys, and there's a lot of great steps in Pathfinder 2. I
played Pathfinder for a long time too.
I created a Facebook group called Pathfinder 3. By the way, have you found that yet?
I think you added me already, yeah.
It's E3, Pathfinder E3. You got to join it because eventually that's going to come out. I mean, they're going to make the money into and then just get out. Yeah. Although it is selling really well for them. It's doing very, very well. So maybe it stays for a while.
So 4E there's a reason why it tanked too, but that's a different conversation for another time.
Hazard Hijinks says it was because of the illustrations. No, he's saying that's because of the presentation.
Presentation.
All right. I miss playing with this guy. He's so great. Anyway, what I was going to wrap up with is, if you're at Gen Con, are you doing anything Thursday night?
Thursday night is our like party. Yeah.
Okay, so we're running Loaded Dice Rollers live at Gen Con from Gen Con's after hours event, which is at the Union Station. It's one of their larger like bar rental halls that they do.
Right.
And if if you know people that aren't going to your thing and want to do like, witness it going down, that is the place to be. Amy Vorpal is going to be with us. Hazard and Hijinks will be with us. We have several.
I'm going to try to get out and network as much as possible because I've got another 6 months of guests I need to fill for the show. So
come. I mean, that event is going to be the most approachable event because there's only 40 tickets available. It's not sold out yet. I just think people have trouble Thursday night being at a bar. I said when the Gen Con events, people were like, "Hey, we need 10 shows out of you," and I was like, "I can do 4."
That's a
I
lot of
said,
shows. 10
it's a
shows.
lot. I know. And the thing is, I bring my own cameras. Like I will bring 4 cameras and I will be shooting our own stuff, even though they have cameras. Like it's a big ask. And so this one is the most unique. And I said, fuck it. I don't even care if anybody comes. I really don't, because this is for us. This is the recording
Yeah,
session for us. The rest of it's for them, basically, but this one's for us. And so
there
that's
you
what
go.
it's a very special night. And
Well,
if you
like I
get
said,
out of your
if I can squeeze out or the party goes slow and I don't have a kid to watch, that's the main difference between this year's and last year's. Last year's it was just me. I only had to worry about myself. This year, my 16-year-old decided that he wanted to come
yeah,
so much
that's
that he
cool.
paid for his own ticket. So I said, "Okay, you're
Get
going."
out.
Yeah,
I got a couple GM badges I could get. Hazard Taiji says he's working on some other surprise guests.
you would love to
Wow.
hear
I
that.
hope it's Catherine or Magneto. Love those guys. Uh, and well, anyway, so those are our 4 events at Gen Con. We're doing Loaded Dice Rollers, Gen Con official after hours. We're doing Dudes and Dragons on Friday, which, by the way, was supposed to be Saturday at 1 p.m. But one of the leads had Strokes tickets for Saturday night and it has to bail. And I was like, oh, this is going to be painful. We're also up for, so yeah, so where they reschedule is 10 a.m. on Friday. I'm like, come on, man. So 10 a.m. to 12, and then 12 on Friday is our airing of our episode with Peter Atkinson for Best Series, by the way, in the film festival. So that starts at noon to 1:15ish, and then at 4 to 6 total party kill, and then 6 to 8 total party kill, and that's our lineup. We're looking for things to do, by the way, on Saturday and Sunday.
So if you want to, we'll have our tech throw it up there. So the Great Gooey Game Show is on Saturday morning, and there's still tickets.
Hazards, Yamashiro. They call me
The
Yamashiro.
place is going to be full. It's in one of the big halls. I got to remember which one. Our tech will pop it up there in a second.
Yeah, I'd love to see what you guys are up to. I'd love to.
It's insane. And then if I can find the picture real fast, which is what I'm working on
Right,
at the moment.
right. Hazards.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't tell you what time and where it is.
God, look at that. Hazards. They're running a game show.
Yeah, we are running the Great.
Ours is Game Show Light. We LIT.
This is so if you've never seen Alphinius Goo is what his persona is, and the Gooey Cube team, this man will bring a crowd like nobody's business. I'm telling you, I've never seen somebody rally up so many people to the point where he's making people sing in the middle of the halls. He's a force to be reckoned with. So
challenge thrown. Hazards challenge thrown.
Telling you, he's a force to be reckoned with. And
you're going to be there.
Trying to pull up the schedule so I can let you all know when the. That's why it's not working.
So here, James, while you're doing that, some of the things we were thinking about doing, because all of the Star Wars crew will be there except for one.
That's awesome.
And we're thinking about shooting something there. And I'm also thinking about doing rolling interviews. There's a local bar that has one of these riding bikes that's a bar. You know, you got 10 people pedaling. And I'm thinking about throwing up a bunch of cameras on that and having interview sessions on one of those. So if I can grab you, it'd be great. We'll just do
awesome.
a small interview and have a bunch of beers.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as I get dropped back off and I can pick my kid up after at the Gen Con. So
he says I'll learn from him. Oh, like Jedi Master. It's not a throwdown, so it's like you just absorb powers. It's kind of like Hero on the NBC show.
I'm not kidding you absorb the power of this man. I'm telling you, it's incredible. So for anybody that's curious, I'll be running games at 8:00 on Thursday.
8 a.m.
or 8 a.m. on Thursday, 9 a.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
Or not 9 a.m. on Thursday, 9 a.m. on Friday.
Oh. That's setup time for us.
Yeah.
But Thursday totally works. 8 a.m. on Thursday, or was that Friday?
8 a.m. on Thursday.
Okay.
It might be 9 a.m. on Thursday.
Great.
8 a.m. on Thursday. Yep. And then I'm also running again at 7 p.m. on Friday. Those are the two I've got on Friday.
Well, we'll be wrapping up in can come over.
Yeah.
So
The
are you running
the game show starts at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning.
Oh,
So that's what, and it's it doesn't give me the date or it's in ICC 101 through 103.
ooh,
So
okay. Well, we'll definitely, you know what, throw your schedule to us. We'll
yeah.
I'll make some kind of announcement. And you know, we'll see which events we can hang to. The thing is, we want to play some games too.
Yeah.
E5 is always good for me. I ran a campaign. I've had a couple of one shots. We did a charity event.
Yeah, thankfully,
But
when we
it's
do all of our shows or all of our games come with pre-gens, so you just
there. You go.
sit
Just
down,
hop
have a
right in.
character, and hop right in.
Okay. You don't happen to have Pathfinder 2 pre-gens on you, do you?
Not with this stuff, no. No, we're
need,
strictly a 5e module
I
currently.
know we're gonna do some D&D. I just, you know what, I can't give it up to hate me on the stream. Just go ahead, hate GM McLeod's. I love Paizo so much. They're so nice as people. Like, they really care about their community. Hasbro does not give a flying fuck. Like, they don't.
Yeah, I'm
They really
not,
do not
like I
care.
said, I legitimately have been, we're pushing more so to support the third party 5e groups than anything, and that's kind of where
Yeah.
we've been for the last, it's where I've been for the last couple years now. Like I said, I've been working with GUI Cube for about 2 full years now, and oh, hey Eric, I can show this. So this is for anybody who's still in there chilling out with us. The first time,
Chat was kind of lively. It had
yeah,
some good moments.
chat's going live tonight.
There was an
as well.
argument. Yeah, there was an argument in there.
Yeah, so I'll throw up the book. So when you guys get there, you
Does
guys
the
can look
chat
for it.
does the chat go over to your YouTube channel, or does it just stays on Twitch?
It does, and it stays on Twitch. The chat will stay
Oh,
on
that's a
Twitch.
bummer. They got to fix that. I know one of the guys that developed Twitch. He goes, Spence, I'll make you a partner. I'll promote you. I'll do all this stuff for you. You just got to give me 25 hours of content a month. And I was just like, you fucking crazy. How the hell am I going to, I edited everything. Like, how am I going to do that? You know?
Right.
I was stupid. I should have just thrown up like a talk show, right? And then had the gameplay on I'm so stupid. Oh, well. It's just me. I need a CEO, a CFO, a COO.
Yeah.
I need all these operation guys. Like,
is the first time
me.
I'm telling people, showing people on our show, this is the Witch's Wrath. This is our adventure from levels 3 to 5.
Oh shit, dude! Look at that artwork. Who did that?
Yeah, that's GUI Cube. Like I said, all I do is write it, and they take care of everything else for me.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so go check them out. If you type GUI Cube in at the events, you can see all of their events. I think we've got 80 some events running this week or that weekend. Between, I think we've got 7 or 8 games going each block. So it's pretty insane.
So Hazard says you can link YouTube chat to be on Twitch, but not the other way around. Yeah, I believe it.
Okay.
Because YouTube doesn't need Twitch. Why would they support it? You know.
Thank you. Yeah, no. This was all I got. So as for anybody who's ever thought about writing, I got this first image and they said, write a book about it. And I said, okay. So
are you serious? Wait, they gave you the image and said, write a book about that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. They said
in the chat, it said freely solid in the chat. That's what my response, freely. I meant really solid.
Really solid. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We had about 3 meetings with the company itself about what their vision was on the book and that kind of stuff, and some main points that we had to hit, and then it was go to town, and we had to get an outline to them and everything. And now it's in production, which is crazy to see. All I did was the writing, and now I'm seeing maps coming back. I'm seeing artwork coming back, and it's just seeing it all come together is kind of a tearjerker moment for me because I've never had that opportunity. So,
well, dude, if you have time, I mean, I'd love to get you in one of the TPK sessions and just come and explain your book. I give you 5 minutes. I can totally explain it. If you don't want to give away one, totally cool. But
I can get, like I said, so what we're doing is we're running the first quarter of the adventure at Gen Con, and then you can buy the whole adventure at the booth. So I'm sure I can swipe a couple to give away for giveaways and that kind of stuff. So
we have somebody in the chat that's I know he's going to bring out some interesting things, but he's also tuning in at the end. Is it James? How long did you want to chat for, man?
I mean, we normally only chat for an hour, but the chat is active. If anybody has questions, they're happy to toss them out.
All right, so this is all about Gen Con. We both have several events there, which is going to be awesome. And I'm begging you to come by our event and just give away a book, just to one audience member. Everybody in the audience at TPK will have some kind of a number or notification that we can literally say 76, and somebody's gonna be like excited as fuck to get your AP.
Yeah, no, it's this is an incredible opportunity, and we'll
autograph version.
Yeah.
Solid.
It's crazy to say that, like autograph version. I'm like,
oh fuck, you got to do it, man.
Yeah,
got to do
it. But yeah. So, do you have any last things you want to share about your projects? Anything new?
I did, but I drank so much vodka. Everybody watching that knows me is we're called Loaded Dice Rolls for a reason. And
That's why it's loaded dice. I thought you were just rolling 20s all the time.
No, we're rich as fuck, dude. We have so much money, right? Chat. Let's see what the chat says. Why are we loaded? Is it because of money, drinking, or because we have dice that have lead on the bottom of the? See, if you put lead right there on the one, put some lead there, it will roll a 20 more frequently. Oh yeah. That's why we ordered a couple $1,000 worth of pixel dice, by the way. Who reminds me, tomorrow night is our guest star again, Jean Samanet. And if you didn't listen last week, which I think everybody in the chat probably did, is freaking he's an amazing role player, and he invented pixel dice, and he was one of the lead programmers on Fallout 4 and Skyrim. The guy's freaking epic.
I'm sure he's going to be a wonderful person to watch.
All of the above.
Because it sounds like a lot of fun. I will be checking out both of his episodes this week.
Thanks,
most
brother.
Likely in the weekend.
Appreciate
once
that.
I have some extra time. But thanks again for coming on the show.
Hey, man, thanks for
like I said,
the chat.
This is my relaxed show. This I never prepare for. I bring a guest on and we talk D&D for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
You never had me roll a D20.
I never had you roll. Do you want to roll a D20?
I should have. I brought the white one. You guys, I bought this at Geeky Teas and Games in Burbank, and I love this die. Although I had this one way before, and I don't know where this is. Somebody in the chat accidentally left this at the table a long time ago. Gen Con party is going to be loaded. Yes, our Gen Con party will be fucking loaded. We have a lot of parties. You got to stay in touch. It sort of happened off the cuff a little bit. Here we go, James. Ready?
Yep.
Shit.
Our last roll of the night. You're not rolling that one.
It's a 10.
Oh, it's a 10. Okay, at least it's
right
not that one. I was like, oh goodness. I was getting a little nervous there.
That explains my week. I'm mediocre. Who feels like that? I mean, come on.
Straight in the middle.
In the chat.
A little bit more Tito's, and you'll be
better than a fumble.
Higher,
It's not a nat one. I didn't roll.
Yeah.
I do roll. If you listen to the show, it's incredible how many ones I roll. But I also roll a lot of 20s.
Yeah. So no, my players hate me because we play epic rules. So normally it's loaded the first dice. So it hurts.
Oh man. Well, this was so much fun. Let's. We have outro music. And
there we go. So
it won't get you in trouble on YouTube because we have a license for it. And
the tavern is closing. This is last call. Thank you, GM MacLeod, for coming over and hanging out with us. And
so anybody want to go to McLeod Ale? I might have to go there.
Where's that at?
That's how I got my nickname. It's in Van Nuys, California. It's right above Sherman Oaks.
Next time I'm in California, I'm looking that sucker up immediately.
Oh, dude, next time you're in California, we are hanging for a few days. So just
sounds
get
good.
Ready. We have Strategic Con out here. There's some reasons to be out here for sure with gaming.
Find me a way out there, and I will be out there. That's how we do this.
Awesome,
All
guys.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in.
We have our new guest. It's going to be Dungeons, Dragons, Psychology. He's a podcaster, and we're going to be talking all sorts of fun D&D stuff next week as well. Don't forget, this Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Plots in Darkenhaven launches our first guest. So we're hoping everybody will come hang out with us, give all the shouts, and we'll see you guys all there. Bring your pints, bring chairs, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Later.